Do you ever wonder what men consider great intimacy? Obviously, men enjoy it, but what really takes a man over the moon saying to himself, "This was the best experience of my entire life"? The answer might surprise you, which is why on today's show, we're going to be discussing what men consider great intimacy. That way, you'll have the knowledge and skill set to be able to blow his head figuratively and literally. Welcome to the show. If you're paying attention to me, I even messed it up. Welcome to the Players Club. If you're paying attention to me and everyone else in the live stream, please say here present so I know you're here present and actively participating. This is going to be a very important show for a lot of you. Okay, very important. So I want you all paying attention. Welcome, you beautiful souls, on this Friday afternoon. It could be Friday night for you, and it could be Saturday morning. How are you all doing? Okay, let's check out who we got in the chat. So over in the YouTube chat, I see we got Ivy, Annie. I see we got Electric Feel, of course. Julie Morals, another one of our channel members. Katie as well. Angela, is Ashley here? I didn't see. Ashley is here. I see Enlightened A as well, our OG. And who was number one today? I believe it was either Anitra or Tracy. I can't even scroll all the way up. Anitra or Tracy, shout out to either one of you, whoever was first. I think you guys were like tied to be first today in the YouTube chat. And over in the TikTok chat, of course, we got SH. I think I saw Sharice as well. I see Scotty here. I see Lucia, Sonia K. Okay, welcome. Francesca, Ali, Julie, welcome all of you beautiful souls. We're going to have quite an interesting conversation today, and it's a little bit of a mature conversation, so if you're under the age of 20, probably not the place for you. Okay, we have an age limit 20 and up, especially for today, and I know we're on TikTok, but still age limit 20 and up. So today we're going to be talking about what men consider great intimacy. Now, I want to set a couple of ground rules so that we're all of the same understanding. I know some of you are new here, and I know some of you are OGs. You OGs already know the terminology. You know how we talk. You know how we like to do things. Some of you new people are going to be unfamiliar, and I want you to be able to catch up and keep up as we're talking and yapping. Okay, we do a lot of yapping on this show. So first things first, I need to address the different terminologies we're going to use because we're not going to use the main base terminologies. Okay, so number one, whenever I'm referring to sex or intimacy, however you want to describe it, I'm going to say pineapples a lot. Okay, pineapples is our code word for that because obviously on these public platforms, they're a little bit sensitive to particular words and we don't want to be using particular words too much. They're sensitive, right? So that's number one. Pineapples is sex. Number two, and this is very important for this specific show because we're going to be talking about intimacy. Number two, whenever I refer to KINKSs, I'm going to say links instead of the word. Remember, these platforms are sensitive, so that's going to be another one of our code words. Number three, whenever I say FETISH, I'm going to say relish instead. Okay, now that's the code word for that one as well. So those are the three. We have code words for those three, and because those three are going to be commonly mentioned throughout the show, and I want you to understand what I actually mean when I mention the code words. Okay, so for those people that come new throughout the show and they're like, what does relish mean? What does links mean? And what is he talking about when he says pineapples? Now you know what it means. Oh, and the fourth one, of course, you guys should know this by now. If you're been here at least once, you should know this. When I'm referring to what's in between your legs, that's very lubricated, that all the guys want access to and they want to penetrate. I'm not going to say the word. I'm just going to say Squirtle. Squirtle is a water Pokemon. So think to yourself, why would I use a water Pokemon as a code word for what's in between your legs? Okay, those are our code words for the Players Club. All right, now let's hop into number one. So number one will be the power of imagination. Okay, now I want you to be very clear in your understanding that the most powerful tool in your tool belt, okay, in your toolkit, is imagination. You have to understand any fantasy, any link, okay, any relish, right? All of these are made so much more powerful when you can utilize imagination. Okay? It's the same reason why men are the most excited for you and most excited to sleep with you before they've actually slept with you. Because before they've actually slept with you, they can only imagine what it's like to sleep with you. And whenever someone is imagining what you would be like, imagining what the possibilities could be, they're always going to be playing in their mind the most powerful, amazing things and the most amazing possibilities, which is going to turn them on the most. So you need to understand how powerful imagination is going to be in everything that you're doing here. Okay, let me make this very clear. Imagination is so powerful that even before you sleep with him, you can get him hyped up and excited to sleep with you, knowing that you're still not going to sleep with him. But that's still good. And that's actually part of what you're trying to do. You're trying to build things up. You're trying to build his anticipation. You're trying to build his excitement, right? Get him all his blood flow going to his lower extremities, because when that day finally comes, and I'm not saying you necessarily have to sleep with the guy on the first night, I actually advise against that. But when that day finally does come, because it is going to come one day, and you're building up that anticipation, it's going to be like an explosion of awesomeness and amazingness for him to finally experience you after anticipating you for so long. And the power of imagination is so strong. I'll give you an analogy on how imagination can be so powerful. I want you to imagine that you went to a movie, right? And in this movie, there was two separate versions of this exact movie that played. And this is where I want you all to be participating, and I want your answer. So the first version of the movie that you go and watch in the movie theater is going to be a movie in which it's a horror movie. They're both horror movies. And in the horror movie, you see the monster, the main character, the main villain, the monster in the first 10 seconds of the movie in the opening scene, and you see the monster in his full glory, and it's in broad daylight in the middle of the day. The sun is shining on the monster, and the monster is just standing in an open field, not saying anything. Okay, I want you to imagine that's the first version of the horror movie. You see the monster in broad daylight, not doing anything, just kind of there, not even looking scary, in broad daylight in the first version of the horror movie. Okay, now in the second version of the horror movie, I want you to imagine that throughout the entire movie, you literally barely see the monster. You barely see the monster's face. You barely see his figure. Every time you see him, it's like shadowy and it's dark, and he zooms by, but he terrorizes the entire world. He terrorizes all of the other main characters. He gets rid and annihilates and unalives a whole bunch of people, and he unalives them really horribly and really gruesomely, okay? And this is just so terrifying for you to watch, but you never actually really see the monster. You just hear him, you see some glimpses of him, you see some pieces, and you see the terror that he brings along whenever he's there. Now, I want you to imagine in those two versions of a horror movie, which horror movie do you think is more scary? This is where I want all of you to participate and put your 2 cents in, okay? Because this is very important to what we're discussing today. In version 1 of the horror movie, is it more scary to watch that version where he's in broad daylight and he's in an open field in the first 10 seconds of the movie? Or is it more scary to barely see the monster and only see how he terrorizes the entire city? Okay. I see some people saying 2. I see Enlighten says Dose, Alchemy says 2, Lily says 2, H says 2, Lenalik says 2, Francesca says 2. Okay, good. I want to make sure you guys are paying attention here. Now, the reason that I asked that question, and the reason I wanted you guys to participate, is because I want you to understand in the analogy that I just gave, there's a reason why all of you are saying number 2. There's a reason why it's scarier to barely see the monster and barely see what he looks like and what his figure is like and what he's about, right? And only see the terror that he brings than it is to just see the monster in broad daylight. Even if it's the same monster with the same skill set that terrorizes the town the exact same. The experience you have of that monster and the horror to which you feel towards that monster is solely based on your ability to be able to imagine what that monster looks like, imagine how horrific the monster is, versus actually knowing. Okay? This is why the reason I use that analogy is because I want to show you how powerful imagination is. Your imagination is always going to make something bigger, larger, more extravagant than it already is. Even if it ends up being the same thing, the buildup and the anticipation that you can feel when you're allowed to imagine and fantasize, we'll talk about fantasy in a little bit, and fantasize about something will make it that much better, even if it's the same regular everyday thing that it's always been, okay? And the reason I say that is because that's the same thing that you can be using to apply to the men that you're sleeping with, okay? Right? Eventually, you're going to have to sleep with them, so we want it to be good. You want to rock his world, and I want to help you with that. So the power of imagination is so strong in your dating life and with the guys that you're dating, because when you finally do sleep with him and you've been working on this and building his anticipation for you, building up this fantasy, building everything up in his imagination, he's ready. He's ready. By the time you finally end up doing it, even if it's just regular, even if you're doing the same thing that you've always been doing, that buildup is going to make it feel like there's even more of a payoff. And you can really play on men's imagination. Okay, right? Am I making sense to you guys so far? And I want you to understand how powerful that is. So in everything that we're going to discuss here after this, I want you to be thinking to yourself, how can I inspire his imagination? How can I get him thinking? How can I get him wondering? How can I get him like a hungry hyena where all he wants to do is fiend to experience me once again, whether it be for the first time or to experience me again? And it's not a cycle of, okay, he's going to do it the first time and then I never have to think about playing on his imagination ever again. You're constantly thinking, how can I continue feeding his imagination? How can I continue feeding his fantasies in a way where he's like, oh my God, that's so enticing. Please, can I get just can I have a little bit of, can I lick your foot? I would love to lick your foot. I would just do anything for you. And the more you can inspire that, right? And the more, you see, I know that when it comes to intimacy, you're like, well, the men should mostly be dominant. But the more you can inspire that fantasy, the more you can use the power of the imagination, you can have him like a hungry hyena where he's like, oh my God, just getting a whiff of you is the most amazing thing ever. I would love to just let me just get your scent. Can I smell your armpits? Can I do anything? Right? And the more he's like that, the more he feels like that towards you, anything you present to him and anything you do for him thereafter feels like it's rocking his world and literally and figuratively blowing his mind. Do you understand? So you have to be understanding how to utilize imagination in everything that you're doing, utilize fantasy, utilize the mind in everything that you're doing, because that's going to make anything that you do after that much more powerful. I know that you're thinking in your mind the best version of pineapples for men is always going to be when you can, I guess, just put your legs behind your head and have the wettest squirtle. I mean, cool, that's awesome. But at the end of the day, the more you can trigger his mind and the more you can massage that and work with that, that's what actually makes it a greater, more intense experience for the men. I know you think I'm the only one that's emotional. I'm the only one that cares about emotions. I'm the only one that cares about the mental. I'm the only one that cares about that side of the intimacy that we're having. He just cares about jackrabbiting himself inside me for 90 seconds and then he's done. I can assure you, even that 90 seconds of jackrabbiting can be even more magical for him if you work on this. So everything we're going to say after this, talk about after this, is going to be based on this. But I wanted you to understand how powerful this is. Okay. So number one was imagination. Now, number two, once you understand how powerful imagination is and the fantasy, we'll get to fulfilling the fantasy in a little bit. Don't you worry. Okay, we're going to get deep into this. Number two, you need to understand how to create a safe place, okay? Because men consider the best version of pineapples with you a version in which he feels safe expressing any thought, fantasy, opinion that he might have. He should feel free enough to say whatever he wants to say, however he wants to say it, and present to you any idea he finds fascinating, gets him horned up, or he finds interesting to you, because this is a safe place where he feels non-judged by you at all whatsoever. And I genuinely mean that he feels non-judged. Okay? Some of you some of you do not do a good job of making your man feel like he's not being judged. Okay? You really have to do a good job if you want your man to consider this great pineapples with you, great intimacy, you really have to do some real work on making sure when he starts expressing to you how he feels about certain things, the type of things he watches, the type of things he's into. We're going to get deeper into fantasies and links and all that good stuff. When he starts expressing to you all of those things, you really want to make sure not only with your words are you non-judgmental, but also with your body language, you are non-judgmental. So if he's telling you, to be honest with you, I never told anyone this, but I'm actually really into feet, and I've been looking at your toes and those wedges, and you got those white toes, and I won't lie to you, like your toes look really suckable right now, and it feels weird to say because I never really talked to anyone about this, but like I love feet, and I would like my ex, I used to have like her like put her feet on me all the time and like in my face. It was amazing, but she just thought it was weird and stuff. Like if he's talking to you like that, you can't be like, nah, If you're responding like that, even if you go ahead and after you go like this, you're like, I guess that's not weird. If you're into feet, I guess, right? Or Adrika says, or you're laughing at him, right? You're laughing at him. What do you think he's going to feel when you do that or respond like that? He's going to feel shame. You're going to associate him expressing, and this is the thing, I know that you think it's all like guys don't have feelings and they don't care about anything, but as soon as you make him feel shame whenever he begins expressing himself, especially when he's expressing some of his links or relishes, right? He is immediately going to pull back and he's going to say, first of all, this is going to hurt you in two ways. He's going to say, not only will I not express to her any longer any sort of intimacy, things that I'm into, but I also realize that if I ever want to express something even non-pineapple related to her, I should probably just withhold that information because she'll probably make me feel shamed for feeling that way, make me feel shamed for thinking that, make me feel shamed for wanting that. You understand what I'm saying? Right? And that hurts you in two ways because not only have you lost the intimacy portion, but you've even lost the non-intimacy portion where he feels like he can't trust you with information, right? Or he just simply feels like if he tells you and divulges in you information about himself that you will make him feel shamed for it, okay? I know some of you don't do it on purpose, but a lot of times it happens and you don't understand that that's part of the reason that guys aren't enjoying themselves to the fullest extent with you, because what guys consider a great version of pineapples, great version of intimacy is the ability to truly feel like they're not being judged for anything they like or anything they're into. Okay. Especially, and this is what I need to drill through your mind. Okay. I really need you to be paying attention to this. Look in my eyes, deep into my eyes. I need to drill this into your mind. The deeper the fantasy, right? The deeper the link, right? The deeper the relish, right? The more niche it is, the more very specific it is, the closer to his heart that it is. Okay. I'm giving you information that men will definitely not share with you because it'll make them feel like a pansy. Okay. And the reality of it is, the more intimate it is to him, the closer it is to his heart, the tougher it will be to share that openly with someone. So when they finally do share that, that is a very delicate time that they're going to be hyper fixated on gauging your response to them. So if they're telling you something that's close to their heart as it relates to a relish that they have or a link that they have, and your response is negative, that's going to be very, very, very painful for them. So the moment you start getting into that conversation and that realm, right, you need to be very careful that your response, both verbally and non-verbally, meaning your body language, is that of someone who is open and ready to receive all of the possibilities. Now, that doesn't mean that you have to do it right then and there, but the reality of it is when he's expressing it to you, you need to seem as if you're open and allowing him to express himself, and you're happy. You need to give him positive feedback, like a positive feedback loop, right? That when he expresses things that are close to his heart, he feels like you're happy that he's expressing those things to you. There has to be a positive feedback loop between what he says to you and when he shares intimate details about himself, and your response being positive towards him and your body language being positive towards him. If he feels negativity from you when he expresses himself to you, he's going to begin withholding information. And that's not even just on a pineapple realm. He's going to start withholding information like in general. Are you following me so far? Okay, because I seen someone earlier say, what if it's poop? I don't like poop. Okay, what if it's something gross? I know that not every link or relish that a man is into, you're necessarily going to be into. That's okay. But what I do want you to understand is in the process of him expressing that to you, I don't want you to jump out the window and say, that's super disgusting that you would even bring that up, that's something that you're into. That's super nasty. Like, how could you even say that? That's disgusting. I'm not going to do that. I'm not about that. Even if you know you're never going to do it in a million years, that's fine. I want you, when he's telling you for the first time, because I told you that's a very delicate period, that he's hyperfixated on your response. So you need to be, oh, that's interesting that you're into poop. Tell me, why is it that you're so into poop? What do you find fascinating about poop? Okay? Even though it's nasty to you, you need to seem inquisitive and interested in why he finds that thing fascinating. Okay? So this is the other part about giving him a safe place. This is the number 2, because the first part is allowing him to feel like he's not being judged by you. But this is the other part about giving him a safe space. Okay. Giving him a safe space. The best way you can also do that is by asking follow-up questions. So when guys are into a particular thing, because I need you to understand, great pineapples, great intimacy for each man is going to be unique to him. So your specific man, you need to be going to him and literally having an hour, 2-hour long interview. This should be going on for weeks and months, where you're jotting down notes of everything that he's into, every link that he has, every relish that he has, so that you know exactly what this man likes. And this is the even more important part. You need to know why he likes that thing. Okay? Pay very close attention here. You need to understand why he's into that thing. This is the very important reason, and you'll begin to learn this as you start getting better at asking questions and being more inquisitive. You'll begin to learn that each one of these links or relishes is in some way either directly or indirectly related to some sort of childhood trauma or some sort of childhood experience or something along those lines, right? It's like a fingerprint. It consists of everything he's experienced, every place that he's been, every relationship that he's had. And a lot of times it translates into whatever he is into intimately in the bedroom. Some of you who don't do a good job of asking questions, you're probably like, what are you even talking about? But those of you who have experienced this or have a little bit more experience know exactly what I'm talking about. See, this is the thing. When we're talking about what men in general consider great pineapples, it's specific to each and every one of them, because each and every one of them have a unique fingerprint of links and relishes that they're into for their own unique reasons. So the best, most I guess you could say seductive version of you is not someone that generally vaguely cookie cutter fits each and every man. It's someone that is focused and hyper focused on one man in particular, understanding that man and then figuring out in terms of what works for you, how you can work with and serve that man for what he's into. Okay? Right? It's more like a fingerprint and a case-by-case basis. I'm giving you a strategy and I'm helping to give you an understanding of how you apply this to each individual case by case. Okay? Right? Very important. Right? So very important that you understand how to give a safe place, asking questions, and then also asking follow-up questions to understand why are you into those particular things. If you don't understand why, a lot of times you're just going to be like, oh, you're into domination just because you are into domination. I don't understand why you're into it. Doesn't make any sense to me. I don't get it. But then when you start asking him questions, this is like one of the most crazy things that you'll realize the world will start to open up to you. You start asking him questions about his life and his experiences and why he's into that thing. And then you'll realize, oh, you're into domination because when you go out into your work life, you got a boss and then you got a manager and everyone in your life is telling you what to do 24/7 that you never feel like you have any control. So you're into domination because this is the only time in your life where you can feel like you have control. So you want to have utter control. And then you'll be like, oh, I get it now. But then when that light bulb goes off in your head on why he's into that thing, you see, now you can even apply that into non-pineapple related aspects of your relationship. Then you can be like, oh, I see that what you're seeking is a contrast to what you experience in your work life, in your family life. You're the youngest sibling, so everyone gets to eat before you. There's no more food left for you. You get no say in anything. I realize that if even in non-pineapple related circumstances and situations in our relationship where I can make you feel extremely dominant, that's going to be even more of a turn on to you, even if it's not in the bedroom. And now you're starting to connect everything and all these wires and light bulbs are going off in your mind because you're starting to understand, how do I not just stimulate you physically, but how do I stimulate you mentally based on who you are as a unique individual, based on what your fingerprint is. Now you can really blow his mind, because remember I talked to you before about the power of imagination and how you can utilize the buildup, how you can utilize the anticipation, and all the things that you're doing before you go into the bedroom is actually what makes the explosion happen in the bedroom. But if you don't understand that and you're thinking that it all starts in the bedroom, you're going to be losing and you're going to be confused, right? Because it's all connected. And I think I seen someone say, why are we talking about this today? Is because this is part of understanding the guy that you're dating. Okay? This is part of it. And we can't ignore that because this is a major part of it. And the better you understand this part of him, the better you understand him as a whole human being. It's the same reason why I always tell you guys, I don't advise you to be dating 3, 4, 5 guys at once. Because in all the things that we discuss in the Players Club, all the questions you should be asking, all the things you should be jotting down, all the notes you should be taking about the person that you're dating to truly try and understand them. It's not possible to be able to do this on one date and then the next day you're on another date and then the next day you're on another date and you're truly actually able to absorb each individual human being, because each individual human being is so intricate and so detailed and there's so much to learn about them. It's impossible to spread yourself that emotionally thin where you're trying to absorb all of these different energies and thoughts and links and relishes and all of the ways that they respond and react to things when you're dating 3 or 4 or 5 men at once. Okay. I know some other people, some other dating gurus might tell you differently, but here in the Players Club, despite it being called the Players Club, we like to focus on the emotions. And emotionally, you'll be spreading yourself very thin if you're trying to absorb this from multiple men at once. Okay. Does that make sense? Okay. Anytime someone asked in the chat, what is a link, or what is a relish, please let them know in the chat. Okay, so I'll tell you guys again. Link, when I'm referring to link, I'm talking about KINKS's. And when I say relish, I'm talking about FETISH. We're using code words here because we're on public platforms. All right. So very, very important that you understand how to create a safe place. Okay, and the ways to do that. So number 1 was the power of imagination. Number 2 was the safe place. Number 3 is going to sound weird and it's going to sound funny. I want you paying attention though. Number 3 is connecting heads. Okay, connecting the heads. Specifically, I should have said it the right way. Connecting the heads is number 3. Now, what I mean by connecting the heads is you need to understand this is related to this. I know that it feels like it's not. I know that it feels like they're unrelated, and if this one's having too much blood flow, then this one's not thinking straight, okay? These heads, the reason I say connecting the heads, because he's got this head and then he's got that head. They both have a brain of their own, but rest assured, they are connected. They're part of the same human being. Now, the best version of intimacy for men is when you can figure out, right? If you want to give men the best version of intimacy, you have to figure out how is this head connected to this head. So kind of like how I mentioned before, you've got to figure out how does your everyday life connect to what you need in the bedroom, right? And in the process of you asking him questions and getting to know him better, you'll begin to get a better understanding of, okay, I understand vaguely what turns you on. Yeah, okay, having a big dump truck and seeing a nice girl in some tight pants and flowing around, yeah, that's gonna get you turned on. But then when you dig a level deeper, you need to understand, okay, what turns you on, like you specifically? Like, let me understand, what is it that you're into that you're even embarrassed about? This is where I want you to implement a really strange strategy. You might think it's really weird, but I actually think it will help a lot of you, okay? So this is, we're going to be quiet about this. We're not going to tell anyone else about this. This is our little secret, okay, in the Players Club. You're listening to me. Please don't share this with anyone. Shh, okay? I want you to, when you're dating this guy, I want you to ask him, and you're in this realm, ask him, hey, show me what type of pineapple videos you watch on a regular basis, okay? And I want you to sit there and watch with him, or just have him show you quickly the type of pineapple videos he'll watch on a regular basis, okay? Some guys might be like, wait, why? That's weird. I don't know. Like they're not used to someone being that inquisitive about what they're into. This is the thing. This is why I want you to watch this, okay? I know it sounds weird. I know it sounds strange. When you watch this, what's going to happen is you're going to actually see firsthand what he's into, and you're going to start seeing a theme. Okay? So for example, let's just say, for the sake of argument, he's always showing you a girl tied up in rope. Okay, tied up in rope on the bed, and she's spread wide open. We will call it BDSM. I hope we can say that on here, right? And you're noticing a theme. Every single video that he's showing you is a girl tied up with rope, and it's, in that same family of things. Now you know in your mind, okay, clearly you're into this. Clearly, this is one of your fantasies. Now you know exactly what you should be pressing on a regular basis. Now you know where you should be digging, okay? Because that's the hole, right? You're kind of almost like, it's like a metal detector, right? You're scanning the sand, right, with your metal detector, and you're trying to find, where is the gold lying? What's the area where the gold is lying? And when your metal detector goes off, when you finally start watching his videos, his pineapple videos, and you see the same theme amongst all the pineapple videos, your metal detector goes beep, 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 beep. Now you know this is where you get your shovel out and you start digging, right? This is where you start asking questions. Okay, she's tied up. Why do you like it when she's tied up? Is it that she's restricted? Does that make you feel powerful? Is that something that you're really into that you watch on a regular basis? Why does that turn you on? Is it the way that she looks? Is it the way that she's stressed out? Is it the way, I know I'm getting real deep here. Is it the fact that he comes in and he's got complete control? Whatever it may be, this will help you get a better understanding of what's going on up here and how that connects to what's going on down here. And the reason I give you that advice is because when you start to be able to connect those things, now you're better able to understand, how do I give you that, what you're looking for? Because clearly he might say, yeah, I like big butts, and I cannot lie, right? But that doesn't really tell you what he's specifically looking for. And like I said before, the version of great pineapples and intimacy for men is more in line with what he specifically is looking for, not just a vague general sense of what he's into vaguely and generally. Okay? And a lot of times guys aren't even self-aware enough to know what it is that they're looking for specifically, to know what that spot is or that pressure point is. And the bigger deeping you can do and the better digging you can do, you can even help those men discover that for them even before they realized it themselves. And before they even realize it themselves, and you're giving that to him, now he's like, oh my God, my mind is blown, because you're doing something for me that I didn't even know I was into myself. This is on levels that I didn't even think were possible. That's how you really start blowing a guy's mind. Okay, right? You're connecting this head to that head. I know it sounds funny and I know it sounds silly, but it's true. And when you start practicing it, it'll make a lot more sense to you. Now, the other secret, okay? The other secret, okay? Don't tell anyone. The other secret that I want you to use after you ask him what pineapple videos he regularly watches and you want him to show you those pineapple videos, this is the other secret. I want you to ask him a question, and this question's probably going to make him confused, okay? But just keep digging and see if you can discover something, because a lot of times you'll be able to find something that you never even thought was a thing. After you watch his pineapple videos, right, and you start to notice a theme, I want you to ask him this follow-up question. Ask him, okay, I see that you enjoy these pineapple videos. Now, show me something that turns you on to the point where you're actually embarrassed that it turns you on. Like you wouldn't want other people to know that this thing turns you on. Okay, now let's take a chill pill for a second. I need you to understand, when you get to this level of digging, listen, nobody else is going to talk to you about this. Nobody else is going to tell you this, because these are like the best kept secrets in the world. When you ask a man this question, you're going to discover some things, it's possible, that may either be scary to you, may be shocking to you, or you just never thought that this man was ever even capable of thinking about or being into, okay? However, this is a good place for you to be, because you're actually learning something real about him. I always tell you, anytime you go out on these dates, get rid of that mask, right? He's going to be going on these dates. He's going to have his mask on. He's going to be trying to play a cool kid. You're not really going to be knowing the real him, okay? The better and the deeper you can dig into his psyche and to what he's into and to what he's about, right? On a holistic sense and of course on an intimacy sense, the more you will actually understand the real person that you're dating. Some of you might discover things that make you a little bit uncomfortable and you're like, maybe you're not the person for me. And some of you might just discover things that are quite interesting that you say, oh, now I see how I can really blow your mind. Now I see how I can really set myself apart from any other intimate experience that you've ever had in your entire life, okay? Because when they show you, and this is the crazy thing, when they show you the things that, because he's going to say to himself, huh? He's going to start glitching for a second when you first ask the question, because the question goes so deep that some guys will be thinking to themselves, a thing that turns me on to the point where I'm actually kind of embarrassed about it, or that, you know, I'm just embarrassed that that thing turns me on. He's going to start thinking to the videos that he watches. He's going to start thinking to the fantasies that he has, specifically that he doesn't tell or share with anyone, right? There's going to be a reason for those. And he's going to start divulging in you a lot of information that you're going to realize is connected to trauma, could be connected to his childhood, could be connected to his current life, could be connected to a multitude of things about him. And you're just going to say, whoa, I just stepped into a door and I did not know that this room was this big and this wide and this full of things that I didn't even realize existed. Okay? Does that make sense? Right? So you have to be able to connect the heads so that you can better understand the guy. The better you understand the unique individual guy, the better off you will be at being able to figure out how you deliver in the intimacy sense for specifically him. Are you following what I'm saying? Right? So I know for some of you, you're saying, honestly, this makes no sense. Honestly, you have no idea what you're talking about. Honestly, none of this ever even works. Maybe I'm just an idiot. Okay? Maybe I'm just an idiot. Or maybe if you try it, you might discover some things. Okay? So number 1 was the power of imagination. Number 2, the safe place. Number 3, connecting the heads. Okay? Now, number 4, this is stop pooping time. Number 4, you have to figure out how you specifically fulfill the fantasy, okay? Because remember, in the process of what we just discussed and what men consider great pineapples, great intimacy, you've created a safe place, you understand the power of imagination, you're connecting the heads, so now you're understanding what he's really into. You have a good basis there, right? And When you're fulfilling the fantasy, this is where now you come in. So now you've been judgmental. Now you've allowed him to tell you exactly what he thinks and exactly what he wants. Now you're figuring out how you more uniquely serve him, right? And now you're understanding what men really consider great. He considers great pineapples because it's about the individual. Now you have to consider how do I fulfill that fantasy? Okay, because you let's just imagine you're his girlfriend or his wife, right? And obviously intimacy is on the table. So now you have to be thinking about, how do I fulfill your specific, unique fantasies in a way that I stay true to myself and in a way where I don't have to do anything that I'm uncomfortable with, because I'm not advising you to do anything that you're uncomfortable with. But the best way for you to deliver your man a great experience is to figure out how you specifically can fulfill those fantasies for him, because you want to turn into the fantasy. See, men consider great intimacy being with someone that fulfills the fantasy, right? I should say men consider great intimacy the woman in their life that fulfills their unique, specific fantasies. Okay? Rhonda says, please stop normalizing corn. This doesn't necessarily have to be about corn, okay? I gave you that advice because obviously a lot of men watch corn. It's not a crime, okay? But let's not pretend like men don't watch corn. Men cannot watch corn and still have fantasies. Men cannot watch corn and still have links. Men cannot watch corn and still have relishes. I gave you that advice as pertaining to what most men are doing. Let's be so for real. Okay? Let's just be so for real. If we're not going to be for real and we're not going to have a real conversation about what people are really doing, then we're not having it's a pointless conversation, at least to me. If we want to live in an imaginary world where all the men that you date don't watch corn, I don't think I'm your guy. I don't want to live in an imaginary world because I can't help you that way. Okay? So in terms of fulfilling the fantasy, very important. Now, let's say he's into specific things. Let's say he's into some crazy BDSM, he's got some crazy links. He wants that control and things like that. You don't necessarily have to say, okay, I'm ready to be tied up. Get your rope and tie me up. You don't necessarily have to do that if you're uncomfortable with that. But then you should be thinking, what can I do that stays true to me, that I can still fulfill that fantasy for him and be that fantasy for him, that I am the human embodiment of everything that he has ever desired, okay? Because guys do want to be able to project their mental and emotional fantasies onto the woman that they're with. And you can do that. You can become that. But that takes more work than just being beautiful, okay? This is where I want you to understand, right? Don't think that what men are considering great pineapples and great intimacy is just being with a beautiful girl, okay? Don't think that. Understand that just like you, and just like how the experience is very spiritual and mental and emotional, when you're really giving a guy what he wants and when you're really blowing his mind and knocking his socks off, it's just as mental, spiritual, and emotional for him as well. Don't let anyone come across you and confuse you and make you think otherwise. Okay? I'll never say that men can't enjoy it without the emotional. But I do want you to understand, if you're going to knock his socks off, you're going to have a focus on the emotional, the spiritual, and the mental. Don't let anyone else confuse you. Okay? Don't let anyone else confuse you. And you need to figure out now how you fulfill that fantasy, because when you're fulfilling that fantasy, when you're being the embodiment of whatever it is that he's into, now he projects those fantasies onto you. So someone was talking earlier about corn, or even corn addiction, or just men who watch corn. Think about this logic. If that man watches corn about this thing because he's never been able to experience it in a relationship because he's felt too uncomfortable to express it or share it, and now you've come along and he's felt comfortable expressing it and sharing it, and now you two are doing it in your relationship regularly, well, then what becomes the need for corn? Because corn was only the embodiment of the projection of what he desired to experience and do. But now that he's actually experiencing and doing it with you, well, what purpose does corn still serve? Okay? Now, I'm not saying that a man will never watch porn again, but I just want you to understand when you start embodying fulfilling the fantasy, now instead of him being addicted to whatever he was addicted to watching or addicted to whatever he was desiring to experience, now you are the experience. And when you become the experience, when you become the fantasy, it stimulates him that much more. Are you following what I'm saying or no? Are you following what I'm saying or no? Scotty says you need to try to get him to get rid of corn. No, I'm not necessarily saying that. I just want you to understand if you're seeing that this is a desire of his that he's been having, that he hasn't got to actually experience in his relationships, whether it's because he's been too uncomfortable to share it or because he's never had any partners comfortable with doing it. And he watches it as a way to experience it while not actually being able to experience it. And then he actually gets to experience it with you. Well, now you serve the purpose of being the fantasy. So now he doesn't feel like, oh, well, I need to watch this to experience it that way because I never get to experience it in my real life. Now he just experiences it with you. And that's part of when guys are saying, oh, this was the best experience of my life that I had with you. This was life-changing. This was something different. This was something that I've never felt before. That's what they're referring to, is how this unique experience satisfied him in a way mentally and emotionally that he didn't feel like he could ever be satisfied before or has ever been satisfied with someone else. Okay? Because if you're doing the same things as everyone else, right, then how can he feel differently about his experience with you if it's the same experience as he had with everyone else? That's why I keep reminding you, it's about the emotional and the mental and the spiritual, even more than anything physical you can do for him. Right? Okay, so fulfilling the fantasies was number 4. I hope you guys are following along, okay? Don't get distracted. Now, the power of imagination, number 1, safe space, number 2, connecting the hands, number 3, fulfilling the fantasy, number 4, in a way that you're comfortable with and in a way that makes sense to you, okay? While staying true to yourself. You don't have to change your personality or anything like that, but you have to figure out, okay, how do I embody this fantasy in his life, both pineapple related and non-pineapple related. Okay? Follow along with me. So if you're seeing that, hey, I can sense that you're really into, maybe he wants to be a sub. Okay? Whatever. We'll switch it up. Maybe he really wants to be a sub in his life. That's just what he's into. That's what he finds out. That's what he finds fascinating. Maybe you start thinking to yourself, okay, you like to be a sub. Well, would it turn you on even in a non-pineapple related way if I talk to you a particular way that made you feel like a sub? When I'm angry at you, I tell you to go do this or go do that, and you're my sub type of thing. I know for some of you, you're like, what is he talking about? This is so weird. This is so strange. But they're all pineapple and non-pineapple related. So fulfilling the fantasy is not just fulfilling the fantasy in the bedroom. Fulfilling the fantasy is also fulfilling the fantasy outside of the bedroom. When you get better at this, you'll be able to understand it better. You understand what I'm saying? When you get better at this, you'll see that whenever someone has a link, whenever someone has a relish, whenever they express to you something that they're really into, you're also going to realize that there's ways for that to be expressed outside of the bedroom. And that's how it's meant to be. And the better you can figure out what ways those fantasies, those relishes, those links get expressed outside of the bedroom, the even more powerful you'll be by the time you get into the bedroom. And the even more of an explosion there'll be when you get into the bedroom. Right? That's part of what men experience as a great overall pineapple experience. Are you following along? So, number 1 was the power of imagination. Number 2 was the safe place. Number 3, connecting heads. Number 4, fulfilling the fantasy. Number 5, you have to, okay, I know it sounds strange. Number 5, you got to mirror his excitement. Now, pay attention. Pay very close attention, because I know some of you guys are going to be like, I don't want to have to fake it. I don't want to have to pretend. I don't want to have to. Okay. You are watching this show because you want to understand what men consider great pineapples. If I don't tell you the truth, then you're not going to properly be able to utilize any of this information. I am not telling you that you need to fake your entire pleasure, okay? I do not advise that. However, I do want you to understand that there is a psychological effect when someone feels like you're just as excited to do something as he is already excited to do it. Are you following me so far? So for example, if you're with a guy, I was going to say me, let's not put me in it. If you're with a guy that really enjoys feet, he loves feet and he loves your feet. He likes sucking on your toes. He likes licking on your heels, licking in between your toes. He wants to get the toe jam out. He wants to clean your feet, right? I know that you might not necessarily be super excited about feet. You might not necessarily wake up and say, the first thing I think about when I wake up in the morning is feet. And I love feet so much. So the idea that you would suck on my toes is so exciting to me. I know that not all of you are going to feel that way. However, I want you to still, this is okay. If you want to give him the experience that you're trying to understand how to give him the experience, mirroring his excitement makes him feel as if, right, this is something that you want too, that you're excited for too. Let me fix this here. And if he feels like you're excited for this too, this is a confirmation to him that, oh, this is a judge-free zone. Oh, this is a place where I can feel safe. Oh, this is a place where I can express myself. You're actually into this too. He feels like this is a thing that you guys are doing. And the more he feels like this is a thing that you guys are doing, the more he begins to pour his heart out, the more he begins to express to you, the more he begins to emotionally invest in you. You know, we talk about emotional investment, right? And the more he begins to pour his heart out to you, and let you know more and more and more about what he thinks and what he wants and what he's into and all that good stuff. First of all, the more you learn about him, and then the more information you get together to figure out what is a great experience for him uniquely. And so you become like Thanos, where you're picking up each individual ring and you're saying, I understand you like this. I know you like this. I know you like that. I know you're into that. And your hand is full of all the rings, all the infinity stones. And you know what you have along with the infinity stones? Hanging from the infinity stones is a string off of each finger that's attached to him, because now you're literally able to control him like a puppet. You know everything he's into, you know why he's into the thing, you know how it affects him, how it affected his childhood, you know how it relates to the bedroom and relates outside the bedroom. You literally have absolute control over him. I know it sounds crazy and like dark magic or something like that, but this is why this applies to dating, right? Because this applies to understanding a human being and understanding the guy that you're with, understanding how he thinks, understanding how he processes information, understanding what he desires, and then also understanding how you can embody everything that he desires. Okay. I know I never say to scrub the floor and try to be a good maid or anything like that. But I do want you to understand, by the time you start dating a guy and by the time your relationship gets serious with a guy, the more you can embody everything that he desires, the deeper and deeper the chase becomes, and the more intense the chase becomes, because you are exactly what he specifically is looking for, because you serve him in ways that no one else can do things for him. Are you following me? Without you actually having to do anything. Okay, so when you mirror a man's excitement in whatever it is that he's into and whatever it is his relish is, when whatever it is his link is, now you're making him more excited to express more to you. You're also making him more excited to do the thing. And the reason I say that is because it can be very deflating. You're asking me, right? We're talking about what men consider great pineapples, right? It can be very deflating for men to feel like they're really into something, express it to you, and then by the time they go to actually, explore it with you, it's like you're really turned off, you're really uninterested, you're really grossed out. Like I said, I'm not saying you should pretend or you should lie. There should be a middle ground where you can do some things that you're still comfortable with, do things that you're still okay with, and that's not too disgusting or side of your realm of, things that you like, right? And there's a middle ground there where it can still be something that you're comfortable with, that you're okay with and okay with exploring, but you also purposely know that if you mirror his excitement or make yourself look as if like, okay, I'm enjoying at the very least, you don't even have to lie, I'm enjoying that you enjoy this so much, because then he'll be more excited, right? First of all, to do the thing. And in the process of him doing the thing, he's going to have a better overall experience. And then he'll also be more excited to tell you more about what he thinks or what he wants and what he desires. And you'll begin to learn more and more about it. Right? Ivy said, honestly, I'm so tired of it being all about them. Well, think about it, Ivy. You see, you have to not think about, oh, well, I'm asking him questions and I'm trying to discover him and I'm trying to learn more about him. So this only serves him and this doesn't serve me. It does serve you, because like I said before, the more you understand these things and the more you understand how he works, the more you understand how to control him, to just be blunt with you. And the more you understand him overall. So you're figuring out what his triggers are. You're figuring out how he works. You're figuring out how his mind works. And in turn, because you have all of that information, right, you understand how to get what you want from him. So it actually does serve you, because when you have a lot of information on him, you know exactly how to get what you want from him. If you don't have a lot of information, because you're like thinking to yourself, I want to make this all about me. I want to yap. I want to talk. I want it to be about me. Just let me talk. Let it be about me, right? Yes, you get pleasure from it being about you, but you also don't have information on how to get what you want from him. Think about it. Just ponder on that, okay? So the power of imagination, number 1. Safe place, number 2. Connecting the heads, number 3. Fulfilling the fantasies, number 4, right? Mirror excitement, number 5. Attention to detail is number 6, okay? In terms of what men consider great pineapples. If you can have a lot of attention to detail, right? Then, once again, you're understanding how uniquely what he considers to be great pineapples, okay? Like I say, the attention to detail isn't just thinking that, hey, I see that you like big butts, so I have a big butt, so that should mean that you enjoy pineapples with me. That's not what that experience is really about. If you really want to blow his mind, you have to have an attention to detail and an attention to what is his unique fingerprint. What is he uniquely interested in? What does he uniquely enjoy? And why does he uniquely enjoy those things? And then from there, when you begin learning those things, now you can start experimenting, saying to yourself, oh, well, I see that you like this thing. These are all related. So maybe we should try this thing. Is that something that you would be? And he might say, I don't even know if I'd like that. Maybe we should try it. Maybe we should experience it. And you try it and experiment with it. You try it out and then you gauge his reaction. You gauge his response. And then you say to yourself, I see that you're actually enjoying that thing. I see that this is something that's actually working for you. Maybe we should consider trying this out more. And the more you experiment, the more you try things out. See, then your relationship with him on an intimate level becomes something where it's like a never-ending cycle of new things to explore. Because men also consider great pineapples a great experience intimately, right? The ability to explore, try new things, enjoy things, and then also explore more things. Right? Because that's what keeps it fresh and new. Because I'll be honest with you, I'm not going to be mean to you, but men consider great pineapples an experience in which he can feel riveted, feel alive, to make some sense out of it, right? And when I say feel alive, I just mean to know that, hey, anything can happen at any point. Feel adventurous, feel like an animal. This sounds weird, right? When I say feel like an animal, I just mean feel like he can go into this experience just experiencing, not thinking, not self-conscious, not feeling like he has to hold some things back or not say certain things or not be himself type of thing. right? Because men consider a great experience overall when it comes to intimacy. They consider that the ability to just go in and just go in and just feel what they're feeling, not go in and think to themselves, I got to think about this and let me not try that. And she's not into that and da 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 da. And right. They want to feel, they want to be present. Okay. Now, I'm never saying that you have to do anything that you're uncomfortable with, but the more present you can allow him to feel when he's with you, that is an even better experience for him. Okay? Because then you can experience the real raw him as he really is, right? While you're still feeling comfortable, while you're still okay with everything that's going on. But he can also feel like by the time he actually has the experience with you, by the time you guys actually do the thing, it becomes that much more not just physically satisfying, but mentally satisfying, where he feels a release of who he really is with you in that moment. Okay? Like I want you to imagine when men are at work, right? They're stand up straight, they're buttoned up, they're who their boss wants them to be, they're who their manager wants them to be. They're with their family, they're who their family wants them to be, they're who their friends want them to be, right? They're in line, they're stand up straight, right? They're buttoned up. There needs to be a period in his life where he is who he really is. And he's just present and just there, not thinking about what he should be like, how he should act and things like that. So the more present you can allow him to be and the more attention to detail you can have in terms of allowing him to be present, the better it is, the better experience it is for him. And then in turn, I can assure you, because some of you are thinking, why is this all about him? Why shouldn't this be about me? It can also be about you. It can also be about you. And 100% it will be about you. And when you allow this environment, right? When you allow this environment to take place, you'll be shocked at how much he'll begin mirroring that back to you as well. Okay? Trust me, try it and you'll start seeing some results. Okay. Some of you might not try it. You might be like, this doesn't work. This is stupid. This is a whole bunch of malarkey. And you may never try it and maybe you won't see any results. But I can assure you, once you start creating this environment in your relationship, okay, I'm not talking about with your friends with benefits, right? In your relationship, I guarantee you'll see some results. And even if, let's say for the sake of argument, you never see any results, at least you'll know so much more about him and have so much more information about him that you will know how to manipulate and control him yourself. So at the very least, you'll have that information. And if you're able to manipulate and control him, then you know exactly how to get what you want from him. Okay? Internet friend says, I think he's right. Maybe I'm wrong, guys. Maybe I'm a man who has no idea how men think. Maybe. You never know. Maybe I'm just an AI. So do you guys have any questions about what we just discussed today? So the power of imagination, a safe place, connecting the heads, fulfilling the fantasy, mirroring excitement and attention to detail. I know this is a very controversial topic and everyone's, discombobulated when we start talking about intimacy here, but I can assure you this is important. Okay. Someone says, are you supposed to do this, to a man that you, let me see here. I believe you said, are you supposed to do this to a man that you are just dating without commitment from him? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Please take heed to my words here. Do not be trying to think about how to utilize this on your friends with benefits. Do not be thinking about how to utilize this on a guy who you met on Hinge or Tinder yesterday. Do not use this on anyone that is not specifically acknowledging themselves that they are your boyfriend or your husband. Okay? And this is why I said that he acknowledges that. Not that you think he's your boyfriend or your husband, that he will go out into the world and tell other people that he is your boyfriend or husband. Don't be trying to use these tips and tricks on your friends with benefits thinking that this is what's going to blow his mind and get him to date you. I want to be very clear on that. I should have even said that at the very beginning. So take heed to those words. If you're not in a relationship that's serious, this isn't your husband, and you've learned this information, pocket that information, and now you know what video to come back to when you're in a relationship. Do not try this on your friends with benefits. Don't try this on your pen pal relationship. First of all, it's a pen pal relationship. And don't try this on your situationship. Did you hear me? Don't try this on your situationship. This is for the man that is committed to you. Because some of you will lose your marbles when you start thinking, oh, I'm going to apply this to my situationship so that then he'll be so fascinated and want me so badly that he'll want to be in a relationship. No. You're in the wrong place when you're thinking like that. Okay? Right? Ivy says, don't use this to try to get a guy. 100%. I should have said that at the very beginning. I didn't anticipate that some of you guys would be thinking about using this on a friends with. Do not. Mbali says, please repeat the points. All of the points are over on my YouTube. I'm live on YouTube at the same time I'm live on TikTok. So go over to my YouTube. You can literally go into the live section. My YouTube is my name right above my head on the right side of the screen. That's why I'm pointing to it. And you can get access to my YouTube. You can rewind this and watch it a million times if you need to. Okay, so I'm not going to repeat the points. We've already discussed them, right? Someone, Rosie says, I swear you read my mind. Yes, I needed to address that. Please don't use this on friends with benefits. Don't use this on a situationship. I know, some of you, I can now see that you were shivering, ready to implement all of these points on a guy that doesn't even like you. Do not do that. Please do not. Right? Linda says that's a given with all your posts. Yes, you are an OG, so you know. But new people, I know when they come here just for the simple advice and they're thinking to themselves, I can't wait to use this on a boy who doesn't even consider me to be a girlfriend or consider me to be in a real relationship with him. They start thinking this is what's going to convince them to be in a relationship with them. That's why I need to preface that very, very, very much. Please use that information with caution, right? Right? Mbali says, let's know our worth and apply this only on a man who values us 100,000%. Don't be thinking about what a man considers great pineapples with you when he hasn't even committed himself to you. Now you're thinking about how to suck and slurp better, and that man doesn't even consider you, doesn't even know your last name, and has no intention of wifing you. Don't be doing that. That's pick Misha energy, right? Now, we're talking about this because we're talking about when you finally get into that relationship, you want to keep that spark alive, and you want to keep him chasing. You want to embody everything that he fantasizes about, so he don't have no time to be thinking about no other girls. You want to be everything to him. So that's where this comes in, right? Okay. Maybe I should have had a separate live stream for just people in a relationship, because some of you guys come in and think, oh, my situationship, right? Right? Does that make sense? Okay. Baby Lips says, what are some ways to inspire his imagination? That's a great question, Baby Lips, right? To inspire his imagination, these are things like when you're in conversation with him, you can be talking about some of the things I said with your boyfriend, or I said with your boyfriend or your husband. You can be discussing some things that you're into, right? This can be a back and forth conversation where you start talking about some things you're into or some things you would like to try. This can even turn into dirty talk, where you start kind of dirty talking with each other, going back and forth, kind of gauging what he really, what realm of things and possibilities he really would like to experience with you, type of thing. You understand what I'm saying? And in the process of that, you'll be like his imagination will be running wild. Oh my God, if we tried this or if we did that, all right? Or you could be thinking about different ways to tease him. For example, if he's really into feet and he's like, oh my God, I really like it, when a girl wears wedges on, her feet and she's got white toenails. And then all of a sudden on your date, whoops, accidentally, I didn't know that I was going to wear wedges and white toenails. Now he's thinking about your feet like viciously. You understand what I'm saying? Do not use this on your friends with benefits. Do not use this on your situationship. Don't use this on a guy who doesn't like you. This is for people with boyfriends and husbands only. Okay? I need to keep reminding you of that. I feel like whenever I start saying things, you guys are thinking about how to use this on someone who doesn't like you. Okay? Right. I need to keep reminding you. All right. Right. Madison says, when would be a good time to initiate these questions? I'm just going to keep the line very simple. Do all of this that I discuss after he commits to you. The only reason I say that is because I know if I don't just draw a black and white line in the sand, some of you will be thinking, oh, let me do this when I'm on my first date and he's not even into me and we haven't built any sort of foundation. And I know that if I'm not just giving you a simple answer, do this only after he's your boyfriend officially, then some of you will be using this at the wrong time. Okay. The truth of the matter is this is something that should be escalating as the relationship gets more serious. But I know that some of you won't be able to properly manage that, and I don't want to confuse you. Let's keep it simple. Only practice any of these, ask any of these questions after this has become your boyfriend. Let's keep it very simple for those of you who are less advanced. Okay? I just want to keep it very simple so you're not confused and you don't make some mistakes here. Keep it simple after he's dating you for real. Okay? Hot Chocolate said it will backfire you if you become his lapdog if he don't like you. 100%. I'm gonna put this disclaimer at the when I edit this video and I post it on my main YouTube page. I'm gonna put this disclaimer at the very beginning because I should have put this disclaimer. I didn't realize that some of you would be thinking about using this on a Friends with Benefits. Okay, right? It will not change your man's mind. Listen to him, ladies. Do not. Right? 100%. It's not gonna change a man's mind, but it will rock his world if this is actually your man. Right? Does that make sense? Right? Theses says, what if there's something I don't feel comfortable with? How do I communicate it? This is a great question, actually. So in the process of that, remember I said when he first lets you in on something that he's into, remember, this is when he's letting you in on the things that he's intimately interested in and into in terms of what he likes, what his relishes are, what his links are. That's the time when you're just receiving it in a non-judgmental format. So that's not the time where you're going to start saying, oh, you're into feet? I hate feet. So I'm definitely not going to let you suck on my toes, and you better not ask me to do anything with feet because that's not my thing at all. Feet are disgusting, right? That's not the time and the place to be stepping on all of his fantasies and links, okay? Now, let him go through the things that he's interested in so you can gather that information. Then when it comes time to actually like do it, or he starts asking you, can we try this thing? Now you can start going back and forth and saying, okay, I know that you like this thing. There are things that are a little bit uncomfortable for me. Can we try this? That's like a step down instead. This is where the communication starts coming in. Initially, when he's just letting you know what he's into and he's just letting you know what he fantasizes about, that's not time for you to step on it. That's not time for you to be judgmental. That's not time for you to say, I'm not ready to do that. Okay, right? Let him have his time to share and be open with you without feeling judged or shamed. Then when it comes time to do it, then you can say, okay, this is where we have to start figuring out logistics. Are you following me? Right? Rosie says, some of us will do anything to try to get him to like us as much as we like them. Please, for those of you who love me, go into the comments and either set the timestamp or just say, he said, don't you this, right? For those of you on YouTube, please go into the comments, right, in the video, when the video is in VOD, when they can watch it after, and say, he said, don't do this with your friends with benefits or your situationship. Only do this with a man who is already committed to you. Okay, I want to keep that disclaimer at the very top. And all you people that say, I'm going to like your comment, right, that put that on the YouTube video, I'm going to like your comment and make sure that everyone sees it so that none of you get hyped up rewatching this, thinking about how you're going to apply this to your situationship. Never, 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 never. Okay. Right? Says you always say that. You always say that though. I know that I always say it, but I know that some of you slick souls come on here thinking about how you gonna take my information and you're gonna use it on a boy to try to get him to like you more. But in reality, he only wants to utilize you. So this is all for nothing. Right? You're only thinking about how you can get down on your hands and knees and scrub the floor for a guy that doesn't even like you or notice you. And I know some of you get hyped up for that. That's why I always need to remind you, this is not for you to show him how much you're worth being wifed. No, this is for you having already been wifed. Right? Right? You guys, please go down into the comments after this show's over and say that in the comments so that they can never miss that part. Okay? Right. Mercury says questions to ask for a safe space. I told you some of the things to ask earlier. You ask about the type of videos that he watches, the type of things that he's into. I can't get so explicit. Maybe actually, I have this plan too, by the way, for those of you who are interested, for my YouTube channel members and my TikTok subscribers, right? I'm going to do a special live that's probably going to be focused more on topics that we can't discuss openly in more detail for my subscribers and for my YouTube members and my TikTok subscribers. I'm going to use that as a way to be able to get into even more detail with some of the topics that, we got to keep a little bit PC for you guys on here. I want to get detailed with this, but at the same time, you have to understand there's limitations when we're on public platforms. Okay, so definitely it's probably going to be next week or the weekend after that, next weekend or the weekend after that, where I'm going to have a separate live just for the YouTube members and just for the TikTok subscribers, where we're going to discuss some more detailed topics. You understand what I'm saying? Right? So that being said, what time is it? Chat, members of the Players Club, please tell me what time it is. I want to know what time it is. Do you know what time it is? Please tell me what time it is. I want to know what time it is. Do you know what time it is? Do you know what time it is? What time in the chat? Do you know what time it is? Do you know what time it is? What time in the chat? Can you tell me what time it is? Can you tell me what time it is? Can you tell me in the chat? Can you tell me what time it is? Can you tell me what time it is? Can you tell me in the chat? It's the best time. It's the best time. It's a great time. It's a fun time. And a fun time. Can you tell me what time it is? Can you tell me what time it is? If you don't know, don't know. Tell me what time it is. If you tell me what time it is. If you don't know, don't know. Look at my pit stains. Let's go. Okay, so for those of you who are new here and have no idea what I'm referring to when I did that whole thing, Discord time is essentially the Players Club Discord, where we all get a chance you all get a chance to share your situationships, and relationships in the Discord, and I answer them and give you some advice live on the show along with the rest of the chat. Okay, so you're gonna have a lot of opinions and perspectives here. It's awesome. So let's hop in. By the way, if you want to send your question into the Discord and you're on TikTok, just head over to the link in my bio on my main profile, and you can hop into the Discord there. If you're on YouTube and you want to hop into the Discord and send your question in, just go over to the pinned comment at the top, or if you're watching this afterwards, go down into the link in the description and you can answer your question there. Keep in mind, these are sorted by date that they've been posted. So when I'm scrolling down like this, there is a queue of people that I have to answer before I answer yours. Okay, so let's start off with Eva. Complicated situation. Hello. Could you share your opinion on how I can get my husband, who's 38, to get interested in connecting with me, 34? We kind of just talked about this. Isn't that so weird whenever I have a show and it applies perfectly to a question? He had some sort of midlife crisis and cheated on me with someone who he had no respect for. How would you know that he had no respect for her? Long story short, she would freak out and even hit him when she felt no control. Eva, how would you know that? This is how we're starting off here? How would you even know that she did that? Is he telling you this is your husband, right? Is he like openly just discussing with you his shortcomings with his side chick? Okay. Strangely, he has tried to stay with her and also tried to break up several times. I'm very confused. We just started and I'm very confused. What do you mean he's tried to break up with her several times? I thought this was your husband. Are you the wife or are you a side chick? You're literally the way you're describing this, you sound like you're the side chick. She got pregnant and successfully trapped him. What is happening? I'm glitching. My head hurts. We just started. How it? Okay, he's your husband. How did? Let's keep reading. He is one of the. He is one of the opinion he has to stay with her for the baby. He seems miserable and will not use logic at all in this situation. Why are you even considering staying in this situation here? Eva, what are you expecting me to do for you here? Let's be so for real. Because I don't understand how I'm supposed to help you remedy the situation. He clearly doesn't want to be with you. It's not that serious to him. It's been about 2 years of maneuvering this, and this year we are getting closer, and he pulled away. So did the baby birth or no? I'm confused. Back when we were starting to rebuild emotional intimacy, we also started hooking up again. A chat, am I confused? I thought she said this is her husband. What do you mean we started hooking up again? What? Why are you talking as if you're a side chick? Oh. Is this the new era where you say a guy's like your husband because you really like him? Chat, please let me know. Is that thing where you say, oh, this is my husband, but like it's just a guy that you really like? Because I feel like maybe that's what she's trying to say. Although I thought that was for the younger generation. Because I don't think that this sounds like husband talk. I just feel like she's referring to a guy she really wants, but like doesn't, oh, that's my husband, you type of thing. Is that the one? Maybe I'm confused. I don't know. Maybe I'm just a grandpa myself. When he pulled back, I requested to going to counseling, and the counselor put all the power in his hands, saying that he should evaluate the situation over 3 months, essentially to see if the baby mama will act like a better human. I think probably the counselor put it in his hands because if you're willing to stay with him, despite all of this stuff that's happening, I mean, any sane person would leave the situation because obviously this is not a healthy situation for you to be in. But because you're willing to stay, I guess, yeah, the only way to remedy the situation is for him to decide what he wants to do. I mean, you're not going to do anything. You're not going to take action. Clearly, you have no spine or backbone and no self-respect. So the therapist the counselor probably said she already got no self-respect. So it's not like I'm going to give her some in these sessions. I'm just going to try to make the situation as best as it can possibly be for them to get through what they need to get through. I don't know what else to tell you. He doesn't want to request full custody, but he says that he will consider what to do this time. So you just sit on the sidelines and you wait for an answer. You're like a side chick in your own marriage. This is insane. I always used to be the black cat, and I'm really. And I'm wondering how you would suggest I do what I do to get him interested in reconnecting with me. Oh boy, I'm going to be real with you. When a man has shown you through his actions that he's no longer interested in you because he's keeping the baby now. And obviously if he can call it a mistake, whatever he wants to call it. This now, because he's going to have a child with her, this woman is going to be in his life for the rest of your life. That woman is also, the woman and the child, I hate to say this, but the woman and the child is going to be a consistent reminder to you of his infidelity and the fact that things have went wrong in your relationship. It stops at a certain point being about you pleasing him and doing more for him. See, this is why this is why I really need to I plaster a sign all over. Anytime I do a topic like what men consider great intimacy or anything like that, I need to plaster a sign across it to not be a pick-me-sha and not be thinking that I need to do so much for the men to like me, because I hate inspiring that thought process within you guys, right? Of course, it's good to try and be the best partner you can possibly be to someone who actually wants to be with you. But I do also know that a lot of you are in situations with guys that are showing themselves to not even be serious about you. And even for you specifically, Eva, in this marriage, this man is showing you that he's not serious about you. So why are you still thinking about how you can do more for him? That's never going to have him see you or notice you. It's only going to drain you more. At the moment, I have stopped trying to connect since he specifically has not been doing that either. Good. He has reached out for some reasons related to shared assets. So I'm assuming you moved out or you don't live with him anymore. I'm trying to get into friendly communication at this time, but passively. We were happy for several years. He would come back, but according to him, he feels trapped. What do you think I can do? I've just been focused on growing all aspects of my life during this separation. I want him back. Eva, this is going to sound very disappointing to you, but I honestly think this is no longer about how you please him or how you do more for him. This is about your self-respect. Because when a man takes you that far, not only did he sleep with another woman, but clearly this wasn't just a one-night thing, right? Because you mentioned he has tried to stay with her and break up with her several times. So clearly this is not even like just a random girl. This is like a girlfriend, basically. That's what I'm saying. I'm not sure if you're the wife or the side chick in your own marriage, as crazy as it sounds. But I say that to say this is not a hit it and quit it type of thing. And the longer you stay, the more you show yourself to be someone who has zero self-respect for yourself. And so the longer you're staying thinking, okay, I'm going to do more to have you notice me and want to be with me. Well, no, he's already made it clear he doesn't particularly care that much about you. On top of that, he already has a whole situation going on for himself with this baby that he had. I actually think my best advice to you, because you didn't mention, I know you're in your 30s, but I didn't hear you mention anything, despite him being your husband, about your own kids with him. And you only mentioned his baby with her. So this is actually a perfect opportunity for you to walk away from this relationship scot-free. Yeah, you might have some shared assets, maybe a house or something, or an apartment or something like that together. But aside from that, no children, nothing that's keeping you tied to this man right now. So clearly his pullout game ain't that strong. So go ahead and take a step back from this relationship before he goes and busts a nut inside of you. And now you're pregnant and you have to stick around whether you like it or not. Right? And you have to deal with him whether you like it or not. Because as it stands right now, you can still walk away scot-free. Good for you. Don't waste your time on him thinking about how you can do more for him when he has a whole baby and a whole family that he has to deal with. You're the side chick in your marriage. As painful as that is to say. You're the side chick in your marriage. So my only question to you then is, if you want me to tell you or advise you on how you can do more for him to notice you, are you prepared to be the side chick in your own marriage for the rest of your life? If the answer to that is no, then you shouldn't be worried about how to please him or do more for him. If the answer to that is yes, I think you need to go to therapy and do some healing and take some time to yourself to figure out, why are you trying to do more for someone who is clearly not interested in doing anything for you? Okay, Eva. Next we have here, let's see. Wow, so many to answer. By the way, guys, I'm doing a special version of the Players Club tomorrow, where I'll be going live at 4 p.m. Eastern time. But instead of having a regular show, I will be only answering Discord questions. So if you know your Discord question is coming up, or you just want to see a whole show of me answering Discord questions, it's going to get crazy, I can assure you. But it's going to be 2 hours tomorrow of straight Discord questions on a special Saturday afternoon. Okay, so make sure you're joining me there tomorrow when I'm doing that. Okay, beauty standards and ambitious men, Kitty Cat says. All right, Hi, I'm 27, currently single and getting to know people. My body is quite nice. You got that dump truck? That dumpy? I dress well. I take care of myself both physically, diet, workout, skin. You got everything. Small waist, big booty, voluptuous titties, everything, skin, hair, nails, everything. Done. Feet, everything. Mani petty, etc. You gotta flex. She's flexing on y'all, chat. I hope y'all up to par. She's flexing on y'all. And mentally, I got a life, career path, hobbies. I fill up my time doing my own. She's flexing on y'all, chat. I hope y'all on top of y'all. Thanks. She flexing on y'all. Okay, kitty cat. I'm quite ambitious myself and looking for a man who is ambitious too, in terms of career and life in general. Where's this going? Who is doing very well financially and looking to grow even more. Is this like are you like posting out like, hey, like I'm single, I'm open type of thing? Is this what this is? Like a job application? I'm not sure if it's just my perception, but I've noticed these type of guys have higher standards in terms of beauty for women, and they are looking for IG model kind of beauty. I thought you just said that you're basically, like you're like 10 out of 10. What's the problem? And I want the men who are pursuing me to really like me, not to feel like they are settling. I get that you're saying that you get the feeling that they want IG beauty, but the men with high standards who are ambitious and all that other stuff, like the men with like really actually know what they're looking for, they also understand that like beauty is not the only thing that a marriage consists of. So yes, you being attractive, of course, is going to be a factor in terms of being in a relationship with a man. But they also realize that it's not just about how attractive you are, because if you're attractive and you have a horrible personality, a horrible mindset, a horrible attitude, that doesn't work in a marriage or a long-term relationship. Okay, mature men realize that. Maybe immature men don't realize that. That could be an issue that you're dealing with, right? They can be an ambitious man while still being emotionally immature, where they're still chasing around IG models, not realizing that there's more to life than just a girl being beautiful. Not that beauty doesn't matter. Let's not be silly, but that's not the only thing that matters in a long-term relationship, and mature men understand that. So I think that either you're meeting the wrong type of men, or you have built up this narrative in your mind that you're not good enough for the type of man that you're seeking. You understand what I'm saying? Because once you get to a certain threshold and men can recognize your beauty, which is what it sounds like you're at, like, you're an above average, good looking woman, like, the difference between you and an IG model is not that crazy that a man would say, I'm solely going to pick the IG model despite the horrible attitude, despite the horrible personality, despite the horrible everything else, because she's slightly more attractive than the girl who's above attractive. Like, at that point, it starts becoming what we call diminishing returns. Okay? Men who think logically and are mature understand that concept. The immature men don't understand it as much. They're just going for the best looking girl that they can get, okay? The issue is that I believe my nose shape and size may be hindering these men's attraction towards me. It's funny that you say that, because I know someone that thinks just like that. And this is something I'll make all of you aware of. You look at you in the mirror every single day, okay? So you see you every single day. You notice anything that changes about you every single day. You notice if there's a pimple here. You notice if there's a blemish here. You notice if your teeth aren't as white as before, or they aren't as straight as before. You notice if your skin's looking ashy. Maybe some of you don't notice. Maybe some of you walk around with ashy skin, right? But you notice everything, okay? Because you see you every day. I know this sounds very stupid and very silly, but I'll be so real with you. Nobody cares about you as much as you think they do. This is not to be rude, but I want you to understand what you're noticing about yourself. Other people barely notice. And in fact, majority of people don't notice it until you point it out to them. Right? Have you ever been with a friend and you're sitting down at a table with a friend and your friend goes, "Oh my God, I hate this pimple that's right here on my forehead. It's the most huge, gigantic pimple ever, and I can't wait to get rid of it. I've been trying to pop it, but it's here, and I don't you notice it? It's so obvious and all that stuff. It's the worst pimple ever." And you're thinking to yourself, I honestly didn't even really notice the pimple until you said that. Now that you say that, yeah, the pimple is pretty big. But before you said it, it didn't really even register in my mind. The reason for that is because you're paying attention to you. You're looking at you every day, and you're looking at you're literally looking, oh my God, the angle of my nose is not on the exact slope that it should be. The roundedness of it, and you can see the curvature is just exactly 0.3, 0.0, 0.5, 0.6 centimeters of a degree off. And that makes me super unattractive. And that's what the men are looking at me and noticing. They're noticing that the point degree off of my nose is what's making me super unattractive and not like any of those IG models. I can assure you they don't care, nor do they even notice. Okay? Like, this is not to be mean to you, but you're overthinking it, right? And you're building the narrative so big in your mind that your nose is what's taking... Trust me, I know, because I've been there, okay? And I had to grow out of that myself, right? It's crazy what the mind can do. You will build a narrative in your mind that your nose is what's stopping you from finding your dream man. That your dream man is coming across you and meeting you, and he's seeing your nose and going, I can't marry her. Look at her nose. I can't marry that woman with a nose like that. Like, be for real. That's not actually what's happening, but see, the stronger you build that narrative and the more you believe in that narrative, you'll start to feel like that is true. And that's the reason you're not seeing results in your relationships, because of your nose size or shape. I had boyfriends in the past, average, not that ambitious, who were bothered by it. Who were not bothered by it. See, chat, I don't read these ahead of time. See, what did I just say? What you're thinking other people are noticing and pointing at and laughing at, nobody even cares. And a lot of times the guys that are actually into you will actually find it unique. The things that you think are quirky or unattractive about you, they'll find it unique and cute about you, which is exactly what you just said here. They weren't bothered by it. And in fact, those guys that were into you found it cute. But I can see from the side and different kind of angles, it doesn't look well at all to you, because you're analyzing every single intricate detail. But clearly to the men that you're dating, it's not as noticeable, or they just don't care as much about it as you do. It's the honest truth. Okay. My face only looks attractive from the front, and makeup doesn't help. Not as big as a deal as you think it is. I could have plastic surgery for my nose, but I can't tell if it would make it worth the health risk or not. And I have surgery anxiety. So if you're saying all the reasons why surgery on your nose might not be the thing for you, then it's not the thing for you. Like, you can't see you. I'm not even going to say that surgery is a bad thing. If you want to get surgery on any one of your body parts or face parts, whatever, go do your thing. You can live your life. It's your life. But you have to make a decision. If surgery is something that you're against and that's not in your wheelhouse and you don't really want to go that route down, then you have to literally accept that this is my nose and this will be my nose forever. And just stick with the idea that whoever I come across and whoever is the man for me, not, I have to be with the man that I'm dating right now, it has to be you and you have to accept me. No, whoever the man is that you end up being with, and whoever the man is for you will be a man that accepts you for you and your nose. You have to just come to that realization if you know that you're not going to go the surgery route. Okay? Because what can you do? Continue having ongoing anxiety for the rest of your life that anytime a guy doesn't like you, it's because of your nose? You're going to drive your own self-worth down the drain, because every time a relationship doesn't work out, you're going to blame it on your nose. But then you're not going to get your nose changed, right? Because you're not going to get surgery on it, but then you're going to continue being self-conscious about it. You're going to carry that self-consciousness into your next relationship. And each time you go through a new stage with a new guy, you're always going to be a little bit lower in your emotional self-worth, because you're going to have another reason to think that, he's not going to like me because of my nose. It's like a snowball effect. There is no man in my life who I could ask to be completely honest with me about this. I mean, why don't you ask the guys who have probably been telling you that you're an attractive woman? I mean, you said that earlier. You dress well, you take care of yourself physically, you work out, you got your skin, hair, and nails done. So I'm sure other people tell you how attractive you are. So I don't think those men would be like, damn, the nose is what's holding you back. Like, be for real. From your own experience as a man and with men, how much does an element like this some kind of obvious flaw in the woman's face matter? Not as much as you think that it does. Especially the nose. The nose doesn't necessarily throw off the symmetry of the face, especially as, like you just pointed out, when you're looking from the front, which is how men are going to be seeing you when they're on a date with you and they're looking into your eyes, and when they're, jackrabbiting themselves inside of you, it's going to be face to face. Okay. And some symmetry in terms of that, if your nose is just like, because you said it's from certain angles and from the side, but from the front, it's fine. That's not as big a deal as you think it is. Okay. Yeah, I get it. It's your side profile. And yeah, I'm saying that while simultaneously being someone that literally, I didn't realize this until I started posting videos. Everyone always compliments me on my nose shape and the highlight of my nose, and even the side profile of my nose. Now, I'm saying that from a privileged position. I'm saying that from a privileged place of having what people consider a nice nose. But what I will say is, as a man, observing other people, the symmetry of the face doesn't change much in terms of the nose. And especially in your case, right? If your nose is still straight and you're still attractive and symmetrical from the front, it's not that big of a deal. Okay. And this is where I'm referring to diminishing returns when we're talking about guys. If guys are comparing, okay, you as an above average looking woman versus, the supermodel, IG model status of woman in terms of looks, right? There's a certain point where it becomes, okay, I can get an IG model status of woman, whatever we want to call it, if we want to call it like that. However, if she has a horrible attitude, a horrible personality, and she's not who I'm looking for, why would I go with someone who's slightly more attractive and get way worse personality and way worse everything else, when I could go to someone who's literally just barely, just a smidgen less attractive, if you want to call it that, right? But also get all of the other qualities that actually build a long-lasting relationship. You understand what I'm saying? This is why I say the mature men, it doesn't matter that much, because there's diminishing returns between you as an above average looking woman who has a slight off axis nose or something like that versus a woman who's perfectly symmetrical with a perfect nose, but has a horrible everything else. Like, no smart man, no sane man is going to choose that over you if you have all the other things going for you. Of course, I'm not expecting you to tell me that if I should have surgery or not, but to help me understand how much it matters to men in general. It doesn't matter as much as you think. I'm already 27, turning 28 soon. These are supposed to be my prime years, but I don't feel like I look my best or that I'm in my prime because of this annoying flaw. I hope this makes sense. Thanks for your advice in advance. Was this a part two? No, that was that. And then someone just answered. Okay. So yeah, kitty cat, to be honest with you, this is your mind playing tricks on you, especially if you're already an attractive woman, and especially if you're already a physically attractive woman. You've got a nice body on you. You know what I mean? Even if you're lean and you're just slim, you don't have to have the most biggest yitties and the most hugest dump truck. Even if you're just lean, you're slim, you're fit, you're in shape, you look good, right? Right? Those are probably, I would be honest with you and say those are things that men are looking at more even than your nose. Especially when we're talking about, like, you're talking about not just your nose, you're talking about specifically like the side profile of your nose. Like, not as important as you're imagining it to be. I know that to you, you see it every day and you look in the mirror every day, so you're thinking it's super hyper important. Not that important, to be honest with you, and not something where men will say they won't be with you because of your side profile of your nose. I know I'm saying that from a nose privileged position, so maybe I'm not being sensitive enough to your nose issues, but I'll be honest with you, as a man, knowing how I perceive other people, not that huge of a deal. You understand what I'm saying? I think you got to serve yourself by stop creating that narrative in your mind. Okay, because that narrative is going to plague you for your relationships. Does that make sense? Right? Someone says, Scotty says, men look at your body. I'll be real with you. Yeah, men look at your body more than they're looking at your side profile of your nose. Let's have a serious conversation. Like, that's the honest truth. They're looking at body more than anything else. Leisha says, should I cut him off? Okay. Leisha says, 28, dating a 25-year-old male, not exclusive. Okay. We've been getting to know each other for about 5 months now. We never had pineapples. We hit it off very well, and it was super intense. What the heck? Yeah, sorry. It was super intense and instantly felt comfortable around each other. Cool. He was extremely sweet and would text me affirmations every day. Then he just went ghost. You should have watched my show from yesterday. So we went 2 weeks not speaking because I did not reach out to him either. Okay, good. You did a good job so far, Alicia. Then he finally reached out and said he felt excuse me, I wasn't interested in him and that I did not put any effort in. This is the scheme. I told you guys about this yesterday if you watched my show when we discussed why he acts interested and then disappears. This is one of the strategies of the bait and switch. So this is what he's doing to you, Alicia. What he's doing is he's attempting to, in the process of you guys having a good time, you're enjoying his attention, you're enjoying his interest, right? Because guys know that girls like the validation from the guys being interested in pursuing them. He then proceeds to take away that interest and pursuit of you in an effort to give you essentially what we call a bait and switch. So when he bait and switches it on you, you now say to yourself, whoa, what happened? I thought you were interested in me. I thought you wanted me. I thought you wanted to pursue me. Now that you're no longer pursuing me, I feel the need, right, to start pursuing you, start reaching out to you, start texting you, start calling you, so that you will be reminded of my existence, reminded of how well our relationship was going, and you will show that same interest in me that you were once showing in me before. Right? Guys do this because it's an easy way to stop them and prevent them from ongoingly having to pursue you and chase after you. And they can be the one receiving princess treatment from you. They can be the one receiving pursuit from you. And you'll be the one putting in all the effort into the relationship. You know why this is a great strategy for them? Because when you're so focused on doing more for him so that he'll see you and notice you, what are you not thinking about? Setting boundaries. What are you not thinking about? Pacing the relationship. So what are you going to do? You're going to do things like sleeping with him quicker than you regularly would, or not pacing the relationship and jumping right into things because you're thinking about how you can do more and you're not in a position of receiving him, right? You're in a position of pursuing him, trying to get that same interest that he once had in you again. It's a really good tactic because then they can make you feel like you wanted to push this forward faster, right? Without ever making him look like he was the one pressuring you to do anything type of thing. Very, 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 very slick strategy, right? The reason he said that you were not interested is because he wanted to trigger you by making you think that if you're not pursuing him, then that's you showing that you're not interested in him, and that means you're a bad person, right? Because when you start feeling like you're a bad person or you're not pulling your weight in the relationship, the first thing you start thinking of after this is, let me show you how much I want you by texting you more, calling you more, doing all of the pursuing and everything that you were supposed to be doing, okay? Ashley's so funny. She puts that camera emoji whenever we start talking about something interesting, which I was confused by because we hit it off well and we could talk about it all the time, do cute little things for each other. So we started talking again and he went ghost. Sorry, I wasn't following along for you guys. And he went ghost again. I did not reach out to him this time either because clearly if he was thinking about me, he would have hit me up. You're a smart cookie, Leisha. You're a smart cookie. You know, guys don't forget about your existence in an instant. If he disappears, it's either to do a bait and switch on you or because he never really cared about you enough in the first place. And I'm not chasing a man. You're a smart cookie, Leisha. Smart cookie. Okay. He finally hit me up on social media saying that I have too many men and he doesn't chase women. Aha! Ladies and gentlemen, we got him. We got him. I told you, guys, I don't be pulling stuff out of my butt. I don't. When I tell you guys these strategies that the men are using, it's not random and it's not from absolutely nowhere. See, he's talking about you have too many men and he doesn't chase women because he was attempting to get you to chase him instead. And the crazy part about it, this is why I say perception is everything. The crazy part about it is the moment you don't chase after him instead, He perceives you as being someone of a high value because he assumes that the only reason you would be uninterested and unbothered by when he takes his interest away from you is because you're being pursued by so many other men. That's why I say perception is everything, because all you did was be yourself. And the fact that you were unbothered by whether he was giving you validation or not made you feel so powerful in his eyes that his only conclusion was, damn, everyone must want you. Right? Because when he admits this to you, you have too many men. He's admitting, damn, you're in too high demand. I can't compete for you. I'm not equipped to compete for you. So if you're not going to chase after me, I don't think I can do this, right? It's almost like admitting defeat type of thing, right? Ignore it. Continue being unbothered. He's trying to trigger you to get you to say, okay, it's my time to chase you. Very, very slick. So I told him I want a man that initiates and pursues. You shouldn't have even, that's the only mistake I'll say. You shouldn't have even said that. You should have just said, cool. If you think I have too many men, cool. LOL. Like the message and ignore it. Because then he'll be like, damn, she does not care. Right? It's an attempt to get you emotional. And that I was over it because I do not have time for the games. Don't even tell him that. Don't tell him nothing. Right? Let him see that. So a few weeks went by without speaking. He ended up seeing me out on a date with someone else and he sent a video to me. Is he obsessed or is he obsessed? You see what happens to guys and you see what happens to their ego when they're hoping and praying that when they pull away from you and they get that they get that bait and switch going on you, they're hoping and praying that you'll become bothered and you'll start acting out of character and pursuing him in the relationship. When you don't, they start getting weird because their ego took a hit. Where they do that at, where you go out on a date, you see someone, this is so embarrassing. Maybe this is embarrassing. Where they do that at, where you see someone that you know on a date, like someone that you were used to date or were dating, and you take a video of them on the date and you send it to them. That is weird as hell. I don't know where they do that at. He recorded us and he even sent you the video. That's so weird. That's very weird. But obviously he's very bothered. Which is good. Everyone told me this is creepy as hell. 100%. Creepy as hell. And he's bothered. His ego has taken a hit. When guys' ego has taken a hit, they start doing very weird and strange things. I'm telling you the truth. And I asked him, if me and him could speak about it. Don't. Why do you care? He's acting like an obsessed, little girl, taking videos of you behind your back when you're on a date. That's weird. That's stalker vibes. I'm really confused if this man likes me or not because he seemed to not care when he went ghost. He does care, but he wanted, even more than him caring, he wanted you to chase after him. And he's so hurt that he's probably used to that bait and switch working on women who are seeking validation. So the fact that it didn't work on you, his ego is so hurt that you're so much better than him that this didn't work on you. He is like now bothered, and his ego, because his ego has been fractured, he's now doing very weird and strange things to you and with you, right? Because you have so much power over him. And now he is in his feelings because I'm dating other men, 100%. I really liked him, but at this point, I just feel like he wants to have pineapples with me. I think more than even that, he's just hurt, and he's just hurt. He's just hurt, honestly. He's hurt that he couldn't get his own power over you. I'm very pretty and get a lot of attention. See what happens? And he always brought up how everyone wants me and I'm entertaining them, and he doesn't like that. What that really means is I'm scared that I'm not up to par with the other men I know will desire you. You have to understand, for a guy who feels like he's not, on the tip top level, upper echelon of men, he starts to get nervous that show me how much you like me by chasing me. I mean, because I know that guys with Rolexes and mansions and Porsches are all wanting you and wanting to be with you. And I know that I'm not as good as those men because I don't have a Rolex and I don't have a Porsche. I don't have a Lamborghini. So chase me, give me princess treatment to show me how much you care about me. It's feminine men, okay? But he has never asked me to be exclusive with him. Yeah. At this point, I'm dating someone else, but I do still like him. Why? What do you like about him? What about him taking a video of him while you were on another date with someone else is attracted to you. That gives me a very feminine female. I don't even want to say female. That's just stalker vibes. That's weirdo vibes. I wouldn't be attracted to anyone that does that to me, but everyone's entitled to their own opinion. Okay. But I'm confused what you're attracted to at this point. We had such a strong intellectual connection. Okay. I'm just on the fence. I should cut him off completely since he's not being consistent and playing games. Is he insecure or trying to manipulate me himself? I honestly think, to be real with you, I think he's insecure. And I also think that he is still attempting to do anything he can to reel you in and get you to start chasing after him. I think he has such I think in his mind, he's so set on getting a girl to chase him, and he's so against pursuing a woman, even if he wants that woman, that even if he does want you and even if his ego is hurt, he just can't bring himself to pursue you. I also think he's afraid of being rejected by you because he's afraid of not being up to par with the other guys who want you. Because if you're acknowledging that you're pretty and he knows that as well, and he knows that you get a lot of attention, let's be so for real, you'll probably get a lot of attention from the rich, powerful men as well. And if you get a lot of attention from those men and he doesn't feel like he's up to par, he's probably scared a little bit that he's not going to be as capable as those men. So that's an ego hit as well. And he wants you to chase after him as kind of like his emotional security blanket, that he is good enough and that he won't be embarrassed or shamed by not being as good as those other men. It's all an ego thing. This is all an ego thing, Leisha. I don't think you should worry about this man. And I do think that you should cut him off completely, because I don't think that anything left in terms of you and him in a relationship or a situationship serves you anymore. I think he's shown himself to be someone that's solely moves based off of ego. And if his ego is hurt, he'll begin to do very strange and weird things. You don't even want to be in a relationship with a man like that. They'll get out of pocket the moment they feel that you have wronged them. Okay. Let's go to the next one, which is Akshu. Okay. Akshu. I like that. I don't know how to proceed with this, Akshu says. If you can help. So there's this guy, him and I have been on and off for like 3 years. By now it was a situationship in which I was always showed in which I always showed that I genuinely like him, but he wasn't into that. He used to come with such, but he wasn't that into it, you mean? He used to come with such butterflies and leave just like that every time. I used to be thinking he must have just changed. Okay, fool me, obviously. What? Okay. But so please make sure you guys spell check. But so it's been 3 years, and this December he said he genuinely loves me, and he literally said he loves me and started acting like a boyfriend. We had an intimate connection throughout the 3 years, and after January he distanced himself again. Slowly busy and stuff the guys do. So recently I asked him about this, and he said, this is the craziest run-on sentence ever. Have you put one period so far? But not the way you love me. I love you in a way that, in the ways I can listen to you and adore you and appreciate you and be happy for you. I really want to be with you on top of the world, and I'll never leave your side. Will never let you be alone, but I don't love you the way you love me. What? How old are you? What is this? This just sounds like a teen drama. What is this? Is a word salad of things that mean nothing. Okay, what he's essentially saying is he doesn't want to be in a relationship with you. So anything outside of that, like anything time spent invested in him outside of that, is a waste of your time. That's what that translates to. But like, this is the craziest run-on sentence ever. I can't get over that. I want you to be happy, even if it's with someone else, because I'm not able to give you what you want, and I'm not what you want emotionally, but I care about you, and I'm always here. I got my heart broken. I knew it. But listening to the statement, did you just copy and paste what he said? Is he giving the run-on sentence? This is horrible. I love you, but why do you keep... Okay, maybe you're just copying what he said. This "I love you" over and over again is really annoying. I hate people that talk like this. There's no diss, Aksha. But like this word salad, just saying, it's like just jumbled up mess of words that mean nothing. None of this means anything. But the way you love me was really hurtful. And I still care about the fact that he said I'm over pineapples and all, but I don't think I need it. What? One can live without it. But the way he said those things in December was really bad. And now I'm traumatized that I have stopped feeling anything or crying about it. Okay, so why did you send me this message if you don't care anymore? And also, when I go out to date someone, it doesn't feel right to be with someone else. It's not. What? Yeah, so Princess said, how old are you and him? Yeah, chat, what are we getting here? We're getting, what age would you gather Akshu is? I'm getting 18 or 17 vibes from this. Because it sounds like you think that this situation, which never really seemed like it was anything serious. I know you said this went on for months and you guys were intimate for months and you fooled around a bit. But I just think like everything that you just described here, honestly, just sounds like a teen relationship. And you think that it's the end of the world because this guy was the last guy that that's the guy you're supposed to marry and be with for the rest of your life. Guys, you guys think that you can send me a message when you're underage and fool me. You do realize the reason I say there's an age limit to the chat is because I know how younger people are going to send in their message. I know what it sounds like. I know how you talk. I've been your age. I know how you think and I know how you describe relationships. It's precisely the reason we don't do people under 20 because all of your situations sound like this. This is a word salad of things that mean nothing. And the only thing left for you to do is nothing and to move on with your life. Nothing about what he said or did should ever make you think or feel like he was ready to be committed to you. In fact, he said he's not ready to be committed to you. You're just in an overly dramatized state of being when you're this young, where you think that meeting a guy is supposed to be, the guy that you marry and you're at 16 and you met a guy at 16 or 17. And because you guys slept together, this is the guy you're going to be with for the rest of your life. And the fact that you're not together just seems so impossible. Yeah, I know. Trust me, life goes on. Right? I know you said it was 3 years of a situationship, but it sounds like you're on the younger side. And simply put, I think that there's more to life than the guy. And I think if you just take things day by day, you'll realize that you'll eventually get over the situation. I don't think that there was much there for him to offer. Okay. And please, if you want to use your time and energy, let me go back to this. Use your time and energy instead of thinking about him on practicing your English. Maybe you don't speak English. Maybe that's not your first language, but you need to do some spell checking and get a better job writing essays because this is the craziest run-on sentence I've ever seen in my life. Okay, just have to keep that as a side note. Better use of your time and energy. Anyways, let's go to the next one here. Let's see. So we have Shiko. I know a guy named Shiko. Never heard of the girl's name. Maybe it's a unisex name. Help. I don't know what we are. Okay. Let's see, Shiko. Hey, sorry in advance. This is going to be a long one because I have zero experience and I'm currently in a talking stage / situationship that makes me so confused. Okay. So I'm 24, met this guy who's 23 on a dating app a little more than a month ago. You guys know what happens when you meet a guy on a dating app. I'm not sure why you guys still do it. Okay. He never had a girlfriend before. Okay. Neither did I. We both never went further than a talking stage. That's not a good sign. From what he told me, he doesn't want to commit to just anybody. He's looking for a serious relationship that I'm sure of, but has many criteria. For context, we both are from religious families and he's a bit conservative. Okay, so that's why you guys are on the older side and haven't dated really. Okay, that makes sense. On my side, I'm way more open-minded, but I'm only attracted to his type of men because we have the same point of view when it comes to pineapples, right? I feel like he respects my decision of not wanting to give it away and won't pressure me to do so. Okay, so you guys are aligned in that way of thinking. I've dated other men that give me the ick because they were talking about kissing me and stuff. Okay. We went on a date 4 weeks ago. 4 weeks after our match on your dating app, probably Hinge. We were talking 24/7 on every social media. So what? You go from Snapchat while you're Snapchatting him. You send him an Instagram reel. While you send him an Instagram reel, you send him a TikTok video. While you send him a TikTok video, you're sending him a message on text message. Great. What a great relationship. He asked me out maybe once or twice, but he was always being vague, and I don't want to appear at his mercy. I have a busy life, so if he wants me, he has to plan in advance. Good. You're thinking on the right track. Okay. For example, 3 weeks after our match, he asked me in the afternoon to go to the movies later tonight. No. You don't say yes, right? If you want to be taken seriously, right? If you want to just be a friends with benefits, fly by night thing, fine. You don't want that though. But if you want to be taken seriously, you need to make sure they schedule you and plan you into their life to see you. You're not available like DoorDash. He does not get to open your app whenever he's hungry and say, I'm going to order you to my house and you better be here in 45 minutes or less. No. I told him I had something to do. Then he asked me out again, clearly for the next weekend, so I accepted. Okay, perfect. I'm not sure how our date went. What do you mean you're not sure? It had nothing to do with the other dates I had, so I felt intimidated and a bit shy. What? Usually when I go on a date, we learn about each other. The guy compliments me, and at the end of the day, they tell me they had a great time and want to see me again. Most of them start planning our second date for the next weekend or for 2 days later during our first date, okay? But with him, it was super different because he teased me from the beginning. From the beginning. I'm not used to online dating, so it made me feel uncomfortable at first. I thought he didn't like me or he didn't find me attractive or something. I must say that during the movie, he kept staring at me the whole time, trying to bring me close to him, and we laughed a lot. Okay, sounds just like it's a little bit awkward. At some point, he hugged me and I pushed him away, telling him it was awkward. That's really awkward. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? I get that you were a little bit uncomfortable, but that makes it so much more awkward. Okay. Anyway, maybe you were just feeling off vibes. Okay, so this is actually something I want to address, Chico. This is part of the problem with dating people from dating apps. Not only is it just overall a bad decision, but you run into this issue where instead of meeting someone through a shared interest or a shared sense of values, I know that you guys said you're both religious and stuff like that, so that was kind of your shared thing there. Instead of having a thing or an avenue to talk about or something to talk over or discuss or some sort of passion that you share, you end up just matching with people on dating apps, and your only connection to them is, I like the way your face looks in pictures and videos. Right? And really, that's your only real connection to the human being. Yeah, they might throw in, I like basketball, I like football, I like dancing, and maybe that might be something you guys share together. But for the most part, the thing actually connecting you was, I like the way your face looks and body looks in pictures and videos. And so by the time you end up getting on this date, a lot of times, sometimes people can rub you the wrong way. It might not just be the vibe that you're on. They just might be, even if they're attractive or they're not doing anything wrong, you might just be like, you're just not my type of person. These are the things that you would regularly pick up on if you were just to meet someone out in public for the first time. But because of the dating app, you don't realize that until you finally meet them after talking to them casually on the dating app for a period of time. That's the issue that's one of the issues with dating apps. He pretended to be mad, and I didn't want him to think I wasn't interested. You just weren't feeling the vibe. That's okay. That's not a crime. Okay, it's not everyone's going to be your vibe. You don't have to force things. I struggle showing my interest to men, so I ended up playing with his hair while he was stroking my leg. Okay, this sounds really weird. At the movies? This is weird. No diss, but this is weird. It felt nice, but I met this guy on a dating app, and he probably talks to so many other girls. Not sure what you want here. If it bothers you that a guy that you meet on a dating app probably talks to a lot of girls, why are you meeting guys on dating apps? You're literally shooting yourself in the foot. So I don't want him to touch me or kiss me. Is it that repulsive to you? Chico, you need to have a conversation with yourself. If it's that repulsive to you to be around men, or if that's what's making it awkward for you because you know you met him on a dating app and you're scared thinking to yourself, how many other girls has he been out with? How many other girls has he been kissing and things like that? If that scares you, you should be the last person on a dating app. The absolute last person on a dating app if you're that tentative to that. Go out into your regular life and meet someone in an avenue or in a place that you like to spend your time. Because if you're already thinking like this, you're in a world of trouble, right? You're not seeking for partners in the right place, right? If that repulses you, the idea that he is on dating apps and talking to other girls and kissing them also to the point where you feel uncomfortable kissing and touching him, please delete your dating app ASAP, because you're literally self-sabotaging. You're never going to be in a position where you feel comfortable on these dates. Until we're in a relationship, I told him that by message in a very ridiculous way. At least you acknowledge it's ridiculous. And now the problem begins. We went on our first date 3 weeks ago, and it's going to be 4 weeks very soon. We still talk 24/7, tease each other all the time. He's not the annoying flirty guy. He compliments me from time to time, but we mostly laugh and joke together. Over the phone, you mean? Over the phone, you mean? But I find it weird that he didn't ask me out again. The date probably didn't go that good for him either, but he likes chatting with you casually. The first week following the dates, he was busy with his family and friends during the weekend. He sent me a Snapchat. Oh God. Y'all funny, man. What's the maximum character count on a Snapchat? Isn't it only like 25, 30? Less than a tweet, right? You can't even put as much information in a Snapchat as you can in a tweet. Y'all funny, man. This second week, we were teasing each other at some point. He asked me out in a very indirect way after 2 whole weeks. Isn't it been 4 weeks? I'm confused, right? With no time or place, no intention. I got mad, but didn't tell him. I ended up ghosting him for 3 days. This is becoming a waste of your time. Then I realized that I was crazy and got mad for a joke, so I just reappeared as if nothing happened. That you're not okay. So the reason you're upset was not for no reason, but you have to start understanding if this is starting to go nowhere. I know that some of you you're starting to do this thing where because you've built this relationship from the start and you've gotten excited about it, now that it's kind of fizzling out, you're trying to hoard it and hold on to it for dear life. Not necessarily going to work. And made him believe that I stopped answering him because I was busy. During those 3 days, however, he didn't reach out. I wasn't posting anything, and he re-downloaded the app we met on. So the dating app. Yeah. On the bright side, I noticed he deleted it after our first date. What does that matter? He re-downloaded it now. And now it's the 3rd week, and I really want to see him. No, this is done now. He's re-downloaded the app. First of all, how would you even know that? Okay. But this is done now. This is fizzling out and this is going on. This is just a waste of your time now. So I posted a Snapchat story that was addressed to him. So like a subliminal, right? Like almost like a subtweet, but the version of it, like, you post a story and it's really about him, or you post a quote. Great. Let's see how this goes, even though I advise you to never do that. Let's see how this goes. I asked someone to go bowling with me tomorrow night. So you just posted on your story, someone please go bowling with me tonight. Doesn't sound desperate. He said he saw it a few minutes later after I posted it and replied, hope no one answers. How old are you guys again? What was the age here? 24 and 23. Okay. Then I told him to take me bowling and he said, ask your cousin. And I said, never mind, I'll find someone else. This weekend I'm out of town. If he doesn't ask me next week, it'll be a whole month. Are you going to keep waiting? How long are you going to let this go on for? I don't know if he actually doesn't want to see me or if we're both dumb. No. He is 23 years old. You said, right? He understands that you exist. He knows where to find you. He knows what your number is, and he knows how to contact you. So if he wanted to see you in person, he would just ask to see you in person. He doesn't do that for a very, very, very simple reason. I'm gonna say this to you. I want you to listen very closely. This is the reason. He's not that interested in you. If he was that interested in you, he would just see you in person. Sometimes I feel super insecure that he's just playing with me. And sometimes I feel like I'm crazy that everything's normal. So I guess I need a neutral opinion on the situation. He doesn't care that much. Sometimes I feel like he's inexperienced, and that explains why I struggle with him. I don't care if he's still a virgin. It is a very simple concept to ask a girl that you like out on a date. I need to remind all of you beautiful souls that we are not here at the Players Club trying to help you attract men who are so shy and insecure that they cannot pursue a woman even if they're attracted to her and want her. That is a useless waste of your time trying to think how you can attract more men who are so shy that they literally cannot do anything. Waste of your time. Those men need to stop reproducing and stop getting access to women so that they can die off. Okay? Only the strongest survive. Okay? You do realize back in the day when we were cavemen, only the strong, most capable, best hunters in the land got all the women. The rest of the pansies, soy boys who were sitting on the sidelines and couldn't do anything, they got nothing. They had to sit in a corner and wank themselves off while all the biggest, baddest, most strongest hunters slept with all the women. Do you understand that concept? Okay? You need to stop giving attention to the soy boys and the shy boys who can't say words to you and can't pursue you properly like a man. Give yourself to the strongest, most capable hunter in all the land who can actually take care of you and give you some damn princess treatment. Not chit chat with you on the phone like they're your girlfriend all day and all night. Just makes me mad. Sometimes I feel like he's a player because I love the way he thinks on almost everything. What do you mean? You think he's a player and you love the way he thinks? When it comes to relationships, and every time I try playing mind games with him, he sees right through me. I also want to know if he's seeing or talking to other girls. What? Do you want me to tell you if he's doing that? What do you mean? He's on a dating app. Yeah, he's talking to other girls. But I don't know how to do that. Literally, just look at the fact that he's on a dating app. He's talking to other girls if he's on a dating app. He's only following 5 girls on Instagram, but he has a dating app. You said he re-downloaded the dating app. Also, I wanted to know if asking him to not touch me at all until we're a couple is too much. That's a bit extreme. Yes. That's a bit extreme. I don't know, obviously, you don't necessarily, if you're not okay with kissing, fine. If you're not okay with having pineapples, I already advise that anyways. But it's a relationship. So there should be some form of intimacy, even if it's just slight touching. Or else what's the difference between you and a casual friend? At a certain point, this is the thing. If you're uncomfortable with intimacy overall, I don't know if you're ready for a relationship in general. You know what I'm saying? If him touching you makes you uncomfortable, I don't think that you're ready for a relationship yet. You understand? And if you're uncomfortable because he's on a dating app and he's dating other people, get off dating apps. Can we create a connection even though we never cuddle? I mean, yes, but also it's a relationship. What do you want me to say? Treat it like he's your friend and never give him any sort of emotional or physical intimacy, even on a touching sense, and just expect him to consider this like a full-blown relationship. That's not realistic. I don't know. What do you expect me to tell you? It's not that I dislike it, but it feels intimate to me, and I think I'll catch feelings even faster if we start doing that. I mean, it's a relationship. I get it, not sleeping with him. And I even can understand, okay, not kissing him. You don't really want to be kissing that early. But it's a relationship. If you're trying to build a relationship and you guys can't even hug each other, man, that is really tough. I'm not here to tell you the difference between right and wrong, but he's just a man at the end of the day. That's a tough position to put any man into. You want him to build a romantic relationship with you and not even get to hug you or have any physical closeness with you? Like, I don't know what you expect from this man. Okay. Update. He did ask me out the day I wanted to go bowling, but I told him that I did find someone to take me as I told him. So what was the whole point of you posting that? Just to get him jealous? So childish. Only childish things happen on Snapchat. So now it's going to be 2 months of talking with only one date. So this should be a sign to you that you've wasted a whole bunch of time and you should stop wasting your time, Chico. You just described to me in all of this long, detailed message that you sent, all the different ways that you've been wasting your time for the past 2 months. So why don't you finally do yourself a favor and stop wasting your own time? You have to understand you're the woman. If the man that is supposed to be pursuing you and building this relationship with you is not intentional enough to build this relationship with you by asking you out on dates, by trying to get to know you more than just texting you and Snapchatting you, you have to accept that this is not the man for you and detach yourself from the outcome. Detach yourself from the idea that it has to be you that I end up with. No, it has to be the right man who is ready to pursue me and treat me the way that I expect to be treated. That's the only type of man I'm looking for. You're attached to the idea that it must be him because you started to like him a little bit and you went on one date. Let me tell you something. It's not a crime to go out on a date with someone, realize that they're not your vibe, and realize that this is not going to work out. That's actually part of what the dating experience is for, so that you can come to the realization that I either like you and I want to continue this, or that I don't like you and I don't want to continue this. The answer to your question is this isn't something that needs to be continued for multiple reasons, not just you feeling awkward and stuff like that, but also because this is not in the place in which you're expecting a relationship to be, especially for someone like you who you're really pulled back on the intimacy. There's not going to be kissing. There's not even going to be a lot of touching. You really have to be with a man who's super intentional about you, because if you're not, he'll be uninterested very quickly and very easily. Okay, so that was the show for today. If you guys have any other questions that I didn't get to answer your question today, don't worry. We have lots more shows to answer. And keep in mind, Saturday tomorrow is a very special show. Make sure you're here for Saturday tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern time, where I will be answering solely Discord questions on that show tomorrow. We're going to have lots of fun tomorrow. So keep that in mind. Lots of questions are going to get answered tomorrow. All right. If you guys want to find me on Instagram, my Instagram is right up there on the top left of your screen. You can follow me on Instagram and you can see everything I've been doing up until this point where I've been with you here present today. Okay. H says, where can I send you messages? Yes. For those of you who want to send in your question for me to answer, maybe tomorrow or on future Discords, please hop into the TikTok, my TikTok bio on my page if you're on TikTok, and the YouTube description if you're on YouTube down at the bottom, where you can get your question answered. As well, those of you who really want, whether you're on TikTok or on YouTube and you really want to donate to me, okay? Because I know a lot of people have been asking, where can I donate? Where can I donate? Even aside from super chats and stuff like that. I put a PayPal link down in the link in my description on YouTube, where you guys can donate directly to me. You understand? And directly to the show as well, because anything that you guys donate to the show obviously gets reinvested into the show to make the show better. Okay. And so, yes, my Instagram is there for those of you who want to follow if you're on TikTok. And then for those of you on YouTube, it's down at the bottom right as well. You can follow me on Instagram and see everything I do all day and all night. All right. For those of you who are on TikTok and you want to rewind this and rewatch this, you missed some of the points or you missed part of the segments, feel free to go onto my YouTube. It's right above my head on the top right of the screen. It's just my name there. You type in my name on YouTube, you'll find my YouTube page, and I'm live on YouTube at the same time as TikTok. Once you go into the live section, you'll find this episode along with all the other previous episodes that I've ever done since the beginning of time, and you'll be able to rewatch them all in their entirety with the YouTube and the TikTok chat embedded in the video, so that you'll get all the context and all the funny jokes that everyone tells while we're going through this on the show. Okay, so it's a really awesome experience like that. Yes, for those of you who don't forget, like I said, I'm here every Monday to Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern time. So regularly, I wouldn't be here tomorrow, but tomorrow we're going to have a special episode where I go on the show and answer only Discord questions because I'm behind on a whole bunch of Discord questions. So tomorrow we're going to have fun. We're going to be laid back, chilled out. And at 4 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow, I'm going to be here answering Discord questions. So make sure you're ready for that. All right. Until we meet again tomorrow, arrivederci, au revoir, hasta la vista, adios. I will see you tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern time. I love you. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye. Bye for now.